how to find out cost of equity using capital asset pricing model. So what is capital asset pricing model? Now remember, as I said, finding cost of debt is not an issue, cost of preferential capital is not an issue, but there's a problem with regard to finding the cost of equity. And how do you find out the cost of equity? Cost of equity is nothing but expectation of the shareholders. Expectation of the shareholders. But the problem is, how do you quantify expectation of shareholders? So for that, you can use many ways, but there would always be some amount of subjectivity. There is one model which is known as capital asset pricing model, and this model gives you a little more accuracy. And how do you do it? So you take the risk-free rate, you take the beta, and then you take the market return, and from the market return you deduct the risk-free rate of return, and this gives you your cost of equity using the capital asset pricing model. So let's take an example. If the prevalent risk-free rate of return is 7%, and beta for the company for whom we are doing the evaluation is 1.4, and the market return is 10%, how will we find the cost of equity? So the cost of equity in this case is going to be risk-free rate of return, which is 7%, plus beta, which is 1.4, into market return, which is 10, minus the risk-free rate, which is 7. So 7 plus 1.4 into 3, and that means 7 plus 4.2, and that means 11.2% becomes the cost of equity. So when you want to calculate the WACC, so what you do for this cost of equity, which is appearing 15% here, how will this figure will come? This figure will come by using the CAPM model, and this is how 11.2%. So this is how you will compute cost of equity using the CAPM model, capital asset pricing model. Now before we come to the stage 5, let me throw it open to everyone in case if there is any question.